All right, let's start Country Changers and welcome to our webinar. And we got Renae, do I say Renae Robertson?
Yes, that's
Yes, yeah. And can you just maybe tell the audience a little bit what you do?
So I manage a childcare centre here in Coolamon, for Coolamon Shire Council. I've been here for 2 years now. So I work on the floor and off the floor, still in with the children a few days a week, which is really good. Sort of reminds you what you're here to do and who you're leading. So I really enjoy that. Yeah.
And also when we talked a little bit just before we started this, you said that you haven't always lived in the Riverina. So did you grow up in the Riverina? Whereabouts?
Yes, so I grew up in Narrandera, which is the next shire over. And in my 20s, I decided that I wanted a bit of a change. So I moved to Canberra I was there about 5 or 6 years. And then, I started having a family and, of course, decided that the best place to raise them would be back here in the country. So I came back, and then that's when I started venturing into the field of early childhood. And yes, here we are today.
So what made you go to Canberra? Was it just like the biggest city? And
I always sort of felt like there was something more that I wanted to do. I didn't want to stay in little old Narrandera. So it was pretty ironic that once I had some children, I had my son, that I didn't want to stay there anymore. I wanted to come back this way. I think raising children in the country is definitely a very different lifestyle. As much as I suppose the city offers many things, the upbringing and opportunities with sport and just even the children's friendships and things like that. I just find the smaller communities, it was probably just more welcoming. I think that you feel more, there's definitely, I suppose in early childhood we use the term sense of belonging. And I think in smaller communities, you definitely feel like you're part of the town. Everyone knows you, everyone knows your children, and yeah.
So you kind of landed back home again, like you went away to appreciate where you came from.
Definitely, yes. I still remember coming back and needing milk and being able to walk around the corner to get it rather than a 20-minute drive and finding a car park, and everything. And I still remember thinking, gosh, I really missed this. As much as I enjoyed my time away, I really missed just how easy life can be in the country.
And so what made you start in the childcare sector? Because in Canberra you were more into hospitality there, and so all of a sudden you just swapped to that. What kind of enticed you, or like what kind of
it's quite it's a funny story really. Well, not funny, but it's probably a bit different to other people's. I always wanted to work in hospitality, and I did enjoy my time there. When I had my son and moved back this way, I suppose it didn't really fit into the life that I wanted to have. I wanted to, I didn't want to be away every night at work when I could be having that time with my children. It just so happened that my sister actually managed a childcare centre at the time. She was very passionate about early childhood. My mum worked there as well. And so I got to sit around and listen to them talk about early childhood a whole lot when they finished work. And my sister offered me a start. And so I just started out as a casual worker. And the more time I spent within that environment, the more interested I became in early childhood development and forming bonds with children. And all of a sudden I was feeling this passion inside of me that I wanted to spend more time there, and could see it as a potential career that not only would fit in with my family, but also, I suppose, I felt this drive. I was interested. I felt like it was a place I liked going every day. I wasn't watching the clock waiting to knock off. So then I stayed there for 8 years until eventually me and my mum and sister all parted our ways, and now we no longer work together, but we still do talk about early childhood a fair bit. And yeah, so I worked my way through my qualifications from Sturt 3 diploma up to uni, and went from a casual right through to a room leader and to IC until I eventually decided to venture on. And yeah, I went for the job out here managing the Childcare Centre, and it's, you know, I love my job here, and it's probably one of the best things I think that I've ever done. It's a great community out here, and yeah, I definitely enjoy my time.
So you seem very passionate about it, and it's so lovely to hear
Yes.
that you found something that really resonates with you. In terms of childcare in the Riverina, the regional childcare, what would you, I don't know if you have anything to compare with, but your point of view, what would you say is different from you in the regional areas and the cities, like the big cities,
Yes.
like the capital, you know?
Well, to be honest, you know, because I have stepchildren that they did go to care in Canberra, and so I did get to see a little bit as a parent more so what happened, and you know, that perspective of childcare compared to here. And I think that probably the difference with regional childcare is there is a bigger connection, I find, with the children, because a lot of the families already have a personal connection with the educators in the centre. And I think that when the parents are confident and are happy and settled dropping their children off, you can really see the difference in the children. And the communication, and I think the support really from the families with the educators and the community, you create like a really nice, warm environment for the children. And that's why I came to Coolamon, to be honest, because I felt that if I was going to manage a childcare centre, I wanted it to be in a small community so that we could really be a part of the community with the children.
Yeah. So what, for example, I know you're the manager, but you're heavily involved with everything. And so what would be a day in the life of your childcare centre? Just like, you know, recap a little bit from morning to at the evening.
So we start fairly early out here because Coolamon, as much as we're rural, we're actually quite, it's a great place for families to base themselves because you have towns close by that you can travel to for work. So a majority of our families are dropping off early because they obviously need travel time to go to work. So often we walk straight in and the children are having breakfast. Some children we're helping change out of their pyjamas. You know, and the mums and dads are going off, and that progresses on during the day. I think a lot of people don't realise actually how busy an early childcare educator is throughout the day. You know, 20 preschoolers just sat down for morning tea, and the educators are running around, you know, yes, you did pack a banana today, and this is, you know, your friend's apple and things like that. You really have to be quick on your feet. And as I spoke before, we spoke about being passionate. If you are not passionate about being around children, it's a really hard job to do because you need to be able to really connect and understand how they're feeling at all times through the day. So that can go right through to, you know, putting them to sleep after lunch and things like that. And of course, there's the fun stuff. We get to play with them, you know, and we get to watch them grow and learn and be a part of milestones, you know, that's ongoing, from saying their first words to watching them walk for the first time to them showing me their name first written on a piece of paper. So I suppose the day in the life of a childcare educator, you can't really predict. It can be very unpredictable. You could have a day, you know, where everything is settled and you're almost wondering what's going to happen next. And then you can have days that are very high-paced. But all in all, the centre of our focus is the children. and caring for them and, you know, being a part of their learning and their day. And, I mean, we're here now to get them prepared for later education, and it can be a really big responsibility at times.
So what would you say to any country changer, someone thinking about moving to the Riverina area or maybe your area, and they're looking for a childcare place, such as, what would you tell them to look for?
I think really the first thing to look for when you're after a childcare centre is really, do the hours suit your needs, is the first big call. Because as I said here, a lot of families travel, and, you know, our hours at the centre here are adapted to suit that. But you don't want to be racing from work to get somewhere because they're closed a little bit earlier. So it's really good to investigate first whether or not that childcare centre, you know, fulfills you know, the hours and things like that. And the second thing I think that I definitely look for is, you know, definitely go to the centre and meet the staff and see if you can connect with the staff. Because if you're not comfortable with the children that are caring for your children aren't going to be either. And that's a really important thing for the kids to feel safe and secure. And I guess the other thing, you know, so many different, early childhood is, you know, we're a long daycare centre here. So, you know, we offer probably a little bit different service to, say, a preschool or a family daycare. And there are different options that suit everyone. And so when I'm talking about hours, I'm also talking about maybe the kind of care that you want for your child. You know, we have a lot of people bring children, you know, only children in here to have a day at the centre just so that they can socialise and learn how to interact with and make friends and things like that. So there are a lot of things. It's a big choice for families, definitely. But most of the people that work in the childcare centres are, you know, we all understand that that's a big decision. So ask questions is probably another good thing to do. Ask as many questions as you can. Is
it hard to get a space in the regional areas, you think, in general?
Oh, look, you know, I think childcare is sourced over everywhere, to be honest. We had a very high demand in probably the last 18 months. We recognised that we could increase our capacity and better support the community with childcare here in Coolamon. So we actually have just gone through a major extension in our building and extended our numbers so that we can, you know, better support the community so they don't have to travel and take their children to childcare. I think that, you know, you need to get onto the childcare centres early, and it's not something that you can leave to the last minute. And I don't think that's a good choice with any childcare anywhere, to be honest, to leave it and wait. You're better off to get in early.
So I was also thinking from another angle, anyone who would like to move to the region and work in childcare, what would be your best top tips, because you're kind of an expert in that area? Definitely. What would they need?
The biggest challenge for early childcare centres, to be honest, is to, you know, for qualified staff. And I think that if you're wanting to work in the early childhood industry, you really need to work at getting your qualifications, because with regulations, we need to have a certain amount of qualifications on premises at all times. Often we do lack a little bit in this area of, you know, the upskilling of educators. And there are opportunities to upskill, you know, through training companies and things like that. Yeah, so that is something that if you're qualified and you're looking to move to the rural area, to Coolamon Shire, definitely start ringing up, because, you know, very sought after.
So yeah, it's pretty, yeah. And also, as we mentioned on Country Change as well, we frequently put jobs up on jobsriverina.com.au, and also, yeah, there's also other places as well. And do you also put something up on your
Yes,
side? Or,
we've extended our staff actually, and we were lucky enough to secure some, you know, I think we've had 2 or 3 new staff members start, full-time and casual.
Nice.
So we've added to our team and extended to it, and they are like local people, which has been fantastic. And yeah, but there are definitely opportunities in early childhood across the board. So it's a great career to get into. You know, as you can see, you know, it's something I think it's a really big part of my life. And I know that my staff are the same. We're a very passionate team here, and you know, it's a career that I think sits with you. It doesn't leave you.
Excellent. And before I get to the kind of the last question, which is more about the Riverina and things to do, how can people find you, for example, if people want to find your centre? Yeah,
well, we're on Facebook, Coolamon Early Childhood Centre. We post things regularly on there, whether it to be just with early childhood in general or what's going on at the centre. Of course, we are also on the Coolamon Shire Council website. There's links through there that you can go through to get information. Or you can always call the centre.
And talk to you. Bundle of joy. Yeah, that's what you are. Like, oh, that's so lovely. Thank you so much. I just wanted to ask you this question though, about, you know, just things to do. Of course, it's we're talking about the childcare and all that, but if you could recommend a thing that you love to do in your shire and maybe in the Riverina, in the whole Riverina, if you have any tips for a newcomer or someone that's thinking of moving to the area.
Oh, look, well, I definitely encourage you to come and visit Coolamon. You know, we're taking kids out on excursions to things that are definitely family orientated. You know, our playgrounds here have just recently been upgraded. We have a great Coolamon Shire library. You know, there's the fire station museum. There's definitely lots of things to come and see here within Coolamon Shire. And of course, when you branch out, we've got Wagga and Narrandera Shire all close too. So the whole area, there's beautiful things to see. Of course, you know, I'm pretty biased and I'm saying come to Coolamon. But yeah, I think this area can be a little bit forgotten at times. And we've got the, you know, the rivers and beautiful caravan parks. It's definitely a great place to come and visit, or definitely come and stay.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Renae, for sharing your passion and wisdom. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I've definitely enjoyed it. Thank you.
And for everyone, I will put the links under the video to you and everything that people need to Country Change as well. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.